evening, everyone. This is Kama with the online talk show Pursuing Your Passion, as well as the online radio show, kamaspeaksradio.com. And I am live with Janel Buycks, who is running for state governor on tomorrow. And I'm excited for this interview and even honored to even have her on my show. So thank you so much for being on.
Thank you for having me.
Well, I wanted to kind of give you a chance to introduce yourself to my guest and explain your candidacy.
Okay. Well, first off, my name is Janel Buycks, phonetically pronounced Buycks, B-I-K-E-S, and I'm actually running for governor for the state of California. Primary elections are tomorrow. My main mission really is to empower the church, empower and equip the church and the people of California by educating them in politics. I believe the more you know, the more you become empowered. And it's time for us to really know what's going on in this state. If you want to make a difference, it's time to vote wisely and really know who you're putting in office. So that's why I'm running, as I represent the people. And Sacramento really needs to hear our concerns because right now, Governor is not even listening to the people, nor the people that he works with, the state and senators and assemblymen. So that's why I'm running it.
Okay, and I do apologize for saying your name wrong. Buycks, Janel Buycks. I do apologize. Okay, I just wanted to talk about a couple of the issues that you had in regards to just a few things that I always have questions about. Let's talk about, first of all, let's talk about abstinence in schools. My son is 16 years old, and he has, I took him to the doctor about a year ago, and they wanted to give him some kind of shot to help prevent STDs. And I explained to the lady, when she told me what it was, I said, okay, and then I guess it didn't hit me because she said all this other stuff before she said the STD part. And I said, oh, wait a second, what is this? And I told her, we teach abstinence in my household. We don't have sex before marriage, and we're not supposed to. What is this about? And I was very, very displeased to know that the doctors are offering this to the parents to help them because they figure, you know, it is what it is. Kids are going to do it. You're trying to stop that, correct?
Yes. What I'm doing is something that has never been done. They say that people are actually actually promoting abstinence in school, but I don't believe they're promoting it as much as what I would like it to be as part of the curriculum. Right now we have a very high teen pregnancy rate, and the thing that they're teaching and implementing based upon some of the laws that have been passed that actually go against our Christian beliefs is overwhelming, and a lot of parents do not know that teachers are required to teach certain things, including same-sex marriage. And so I believe this is very pertinent right now for a time such as this to decrease not only teen pregnancy, but also reduce the venereal diseases, not only in teens in schools, but just throughout California in general, in order for our health to be very much that we're aware of health, you know. So that's what I am wanting to introduce as one of our points of reformation for our educational system.
Now let me ask you a question
about.
about.
And believe me, let me say this, Kimma.
Okay.
You can't do something. A leader can't do something unless they too are practicing. So I do practice that as well.
And that's beautiful to hear because that's the question that I get as well. Am I practicing? And I'm like, yes, I do practice what I preach. 100%.
Yes.
Now, I had ran into someone on Facebook that had mentioned something. We kind of got into a little debate, and the question was, if you don't believe in sex before marriage, why are you giving your child a condom? And she says, well, I do tell them it's wrong, that it's a sin, it's not, you know, it's fornication, and it's not pleasing in the eyes of the Lord, but at the same time, I have to help protect them just in case. Now, to me, when you give that child that just in case, that's almost like if you give somebody an insurance, you know, it's just like just in case that happens, you know that it may happen, but at the same time, I don't think that it's okay. To me, that's condoning, saying, hey, go ahead. I'm telling you it's okay, but I'm telling you it's not okay. Am I confusing, or you see where I'm going with this? Hello, Janelle.
Mhm, mhm. Yeah, your phone is going in and out, so I don't know if you were finished with that last comment or not.
Oh yeah, I was done.
And are you ready for me to comment? That's what I'm saying. I didn't know your phone
Yes,
is going in and out.
yes. Please comment.
Okay. I will say, it's interesting that people make such comments because, it's very interesting that people make such comments because you're saying they're promoting protection just in case, but it's kind of like, when SB 48 was passed and even if AB 1266 and promotion of, really transgender and the right for same-sex marriage and things to be taught in our schools,
Hmm.
they made it very cool where spirit of perversion has come into our state and in our schools where a lot of teenagers and young people are saying, oh, they approve or and homosexual. And I believe personally is you have to make it a cool thing. And then once you make it a cool thing, people will not even think twice of, oh, well, just in case, or this is another option. You make it that there is no option, but this is the only way to go. And I believe that's something that we have missed in really intertwining our curriculum on the importance and really making the venereal disease is very scary. And I can say this personally. You will become what you believe in. And what I mean by that is I learned in school about strep throat. And it scared me. It really frightened me that I did not want to get strep throat. But, I kept thinking like, oh, my gosh, I'm going to get it if I do this, if I do that. And this is not just from kissing, just I got actually sick. And being sick, I ended up catching strep throat, and it still scared me. I had to take penicillin. But the fact is there's no fear. There's no fear being put in reference to, okay, if you do this, this is what can happen. You can catch a disease that you can never get a cure from. No one is scared of this. And I believe that also that because we're not making it a cool thing, that people are like, I got to try out my product. I got to try this person out before I get married because what if it doesn't work? You don't have to do any of that. God has purified marriage for such a time as this, but at the same time, it's just really we got to instill how important it is to practice abstinence without any options whatsoever.
Yes. Yes, I love that. And I'm so glad to hear that someone is not afraid to stand up for God's word because I get a lot of backlash about a lot of things because I'm very deep into my relationship with the Lord and people don't understand it. Like when I say I don't
Yes,
drink, don't smoke, don't cuss, I walk the walk, I talk the talk. I don't just say amen
yes,
today and then tomorrow I'm somewhere else. My light shines so much that people know. So I must commend you on that. Now let's talk about the prayer in school. That's something that has been taken out, and it just seems like every day people aren't getting it. We're getting more shootings and more drugs being brought into the schools and gangs and all this that's going on, but yet and still they're not realizing they took out, well, tried to take out the source, which God is going to be wherever He's going to be. But you're telling Him, you know what? We don't need you. That's how I see it. When you say no prayer in the schools, what are I know your stance is to try to put prayer back into the schools.
well, actually, my stance is really to reverse all laws that have been actually been placed against the believers in a way of the SB 48, teaching Milk Harvey, the Milk Harvey Day. These are things that are really going to challenge groups that really set a precedent. 1% of our nation are those who are LGBT, involved in the homosexual lifestyle, has actually made it clear they have redefined marriage. Only 1% of our nation, and because we did not stand up. So one of the things is that yes, prayer into our schools is very serious. That will even go hand in hand with the abstinence. It will actually protect our kids. People really don't understand why all these shootings have taken place just like a wildfire. It's like a fire here. And this is across the nation.
Right.
But in California, we've had some shootings. We have access to our schools now.
Yes.
So
Yes.
they're going in there using a vessel. Either God is going to use that person or the enemy, Satan, is going to use that vessel.
Yes.
And so when we don't have prayer to protect our kids and surround them and make sure that it's holy ground, then guess what? The enemy will use them anyway, play with their minds, their thoughts, and such suggestions, ideas. And here it is. Then you have all these shootings and different ill wills going on, people selling drugs, doing stuff, and all types of stuff, having sex on campus. And that's what's going on. We have opened up the door to the enemy by removing God out of our curriculum, out of our schools. You know, I just spoke to a parent out in San Diego, and she said that she was just led, before she picked up her kids, just to walk around the school and pray. And she's not understanding what she was doing. She was claiming back the territory for God. As she prayed around her kids' school, she does it around her apartment building as well, not understanding what God was calling her to do. And so I'm saying she is pulling down the strongholds, those things that God has called us to do. But when he doesn't have access, guess what? All hell breaks loose, and that's what's been going on in our schools. All hell's been breaking loose with our kids.
Wow. I'm just excited. Every time you talk, I just get excited because I'm like, Lord, let her get into this position we needed. I still have a son. I have 3 children, a son that's in middle, well, actually he's in 5th grade, a daughter that's going to high school, and a son that's going to be graduating next year. And to be honest with you, I told the Lord, if I was to remarry, I really don't want to have any more children because this earth is so wicked right now. And I know we're living in the last days, so we got to be mindful of that as well. And it's just scary to raise a child in these days, and that's with all this corruption and everything that's going around. So again, I applaud you for that. Now, I do have a question about the death penalty. As I was looking at your information, and you were saying that you were against the death penalty but wanted to bring back the 3 strikes law, correct? Before the 3 strikes law?
No, I'm opposed to I'm opposed to both.
You're opposed to both. Okay.
I'm opposed to both. Maybe definite. Yes, I'm opposed to both. You know, Jesus Christ paid it all. I know people say, well, why would we want to take care of somebody so heinous? And it's like, okay, what about your sins?
Right.
Somebody may not know everything that you've done, but God sees it all. And so who are you to say somebody should be killed and you should live?
Right.
No human being should have that right to say, you are determined to live. That's even in the medical field as well. The euthanasia, you know, you have to really, you know, we really scrutinize, and as a Christian, the Lord is saying, you know, we have to stop. This is not what he called. He came here to fulfill the law where they had all those instructions and things not to do, including the 10 Commandments. Right. He fulfilled that law, and the only law that we have is to love one another. And in loving one another, that means not killing someone with our tongue, not killing them literally, physically. We are not to determine that. We are not God. He's made us, and not we ourselves. And that's what's going on right now. Everybody thinks, you know, I just met a judicial officer at a debate, and he was so excited that someone got executed and killed in California based upon all the murders that he committed. And I said, it was scary, you know, because my spirit was very bothered by his, and I wasn't understanding until he spoke. And I said, but that wasn't for us to choose.
Right.
It doesn't matter, you know, the Lord wants to give them grace as well to receive Jesus Christ, even though they may have committed all those crimes. That's not for us to choose.
Right.
And this, you know, so that's a big thing. And I am opposed to the 3 strikes laws because of how the power has been abused by prosecutors to really impose such sentences against youth in the inner city and even others who may have the same similar crime, and they're not, you know, they choose whether or not they pursue it. So I'm opposed to it. I want it to be thrown out, just like a lot of other laws. And, you know, a lot of people don't know, as of January 1st, 800 laws and amendments were passed, and we still don't even know what all those were.
Oh, wow.
So it's very serious right now.
Wow.
Yeah.
So as governor, if elected, well, for one, this right here is like the primary, right? This is not this decides who's going to go to the next step to be elected in November, correct?
Yes. What it is, this is the primary election. It's the top 2 candidates. So I need everyone to vote. Everyone has to vote now because they're deciding whether or not you're going to put me in office or not. I have to go against whomever would be the other contender. Everyone has already, newspaper outlets, media outlets have already said Jerry Brown is going to be one of them. Well, that can be changed if the people get out and vote. Their vote will count and their voice will be heard. And so here it is. Should he even be one of the contenders or anyone else, I'm looking to be the second one to be on that next ballot, which will be held at the beginning of November, either November 2nd or November 4th. And that's when we'll decide who will be governor in the state of California.
Well, I am definitely looking forward to vote tomorrow, and I can tell you personally, you definitely have my vote. I've been excited. This is the first election I was excited for. Our last big election, I wasn't going to vote at all. I just felt like they weren't listening to me because I had voted against gay marriages, and I felt like because they were trying to overturn it, if I'm not mistaken, they did overturn it. Or I know it's in the process. I was very hurt because I felt like if I took the time to go out and vote and this passed, why is this amended when it was said it wasn't going to be amended if, you know, according to the way things were written up? So I felt, why should I vote? My vote doesn't mean anything. So for a very long time, that's how I felt. But I went ahead and voted anyway because someone made a point. They said, how can you go against anything if you don't even at least cast your vote? Whatever favor it turns into, you really have no voice. So I decided from this point on, I will vote. I will vote in primaries. I will vote at the main elections. And I will say here that you do have my vote. We need someone like you in office. I will definitely do my best to make sure your name gets out there as much as possible so that you are elected in November, because we need you to, it's not even a, it's no playing games. We need someone like you over the state of California. My bishop is always praying. So we definitely need you. He's always praying for change, and you would definitely be it.
Can I say this one last comment before we end?
You sure can.
You're absolutely right. The people did vote, and they ignored our vote. A lot of our judicial officers are being blocked. A lot of our judicial officers are homophobic. Is God is cleaning up house. Although, you know, you have to look at in the Bible, the children of Israel, they always committed a sin against God, but when they cried out, he sent to deliver them. And he overturned things. Well, that's what I'm here to do. I'm become and to be that deliverer that God has called me. People keep crying out, where's God? And some people have even been mocking. God is not real. He doesn't hear anybody. Who is he? And he's real. He's truly real, and he's going to show people who he is. Because people say, you didn't have that much money. I said, well, I serve a God that does the impossible.
That's right.
I'm very excited because it's time to really get people to work and not just take taxpayer dollars and not do anything. So I'm excited. Only God is going to get the glory, not man. And so with that said, I'm hoping that people go out tomorrow, make a difference. Your voice does matter. If you don't say anything, that means you're silent on all the issues. And I'm here to overturn those laws. There's a difference between federal and state laws, and it's time for you to really become educated. So I'm asking people to really check out my site, voteforjanel.com. Again, voteforjanel.com. And, you know, let everyone else know via text, e-blasting, and even via email e-blasting. Let them know tomorrow's a big day, and I need your help and your support.
Well, you have mine. I will be sending it out to my list of followers and listeners and supporters. I will make sure that this is on my social media pages and everything, encouraging everyone to vote and to vote for you. So thank you so much for being on my show. I do apologize for what happened earlier, but I got everything fixed. But I'm so glad that we were able to connect and link, and I look forward to congratulating you on Wednesday morning.
Thank you, Sister Kim. Have a beautiful and blessed day, honey.
You too. Good night.
Bye-bye.